Today we're going to talk about something that I think is just incredibly important. It's the power of privacy. And these aren't just, some light tips. Think of them more like rules. Rules for protecting your energy and, most importantly, your peace. So let's dive in.
Okay, let's just take a deep breath. This stuff is important, so I really want you to tune in for what's coming next.
There are some things you just shouldn't share. I'm talking not even with your best friend, not your family, and definitely not the internet. Some parts of your life are meant to be yours and yours alone. So we're going to break down exactly what those things are and why keeping them private is so crucial.
So first up, we're diving into the big ones, the foundational boundaries. We're talking about our money, our emotions, and our social lives. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, your money. And trust me, this one is a biggie. Listen, never, ever tell people your exact income. Don't say, oh, I make $50,000 a year, or I pull in about $3,000 a month. The second you drop a number, the whole dynamic of your relationship changes. People start judging how you spend your money, they suddenly feel entitled to ask you for a loan, or they might even start to resent you for it. Just keep it vague. A simple, I'm comfortable protects your relationships and your wallet.
It's such a perfect way to put it, isn't it? It's so true. Once they know that number, every little thing you buy, every vacation you take, it's suddenly up for public debate. It's just better not to even hand them the calculator in the first place. Okay, rule number 2. This one's all about protecting your heart.
You should never, ever hand someone your deepest, most specific insecurity on a silver platter, and here's why. When you're feeling vulnerable and say something really specific like, I'm terrified people think I'm ugly, you're essentially giving them a weapon. Now, they might not use it today or tomorrow, but it's there. Being a little vague, saying, I've been feeling a bit off lately, lets people know you're struggling without handing over the keys to your self-worth.
Yeah, because the brutal truth is, in a moment of anger, that very specific insecurity you shared, it can be thrown right back in your face. It's a painful lesson, and honestly, one you're better off not learning the hard way.
All right, let's move on to rule number 3. This one is huge, and it's all about integrity. This is an absolute, non-negotiable rule. No exceptions. When someone trusts you enough to tell you their secret, you become its guardian, not its broadcaster. It doesn't matter if you think, oh, but everyone already knows. Your job is to be a vault. Breaking that trust, well, it says a lot more about your character than it does about their secret. All right, let's shift gears. The next batch of rules is all about navigating our modern world. We're talking digital life, our biggest dreams, and even how we show kindness.
Rule number 4. In this day and age, this is just non-negotiable.
I'm talking about your passwords. Seriously, stop joking about them. Stop using your dog's name or your birthday. This system is so simple and it's completely offline. Just get a small notebook, write down your really complex passwords, and then hide that notebook somewhere safe where nobody would ever think to look. One careless comment, one simple little hint could lead to your entire life getting hacked. And now for Rule 5. This one is for all you dreamers and builders out there. Look, don't tell everyone your master plan before you've even laid the first brick. Announcing, I'm going to quit my job in 3 months and open a coffee shop on Main Street just invites trouble. Your boss might start managing you out, a so-called friend could steal your idea, or people will just fill your head with doubt. Work in silence. Protect that blueprint. Let them be blown away by the finished building. Okay, next up, rule number 6. This one touches on a bit of grace and generosity. When you give a gift, please never, ever talk about how much it cost. Don't say things like, oh man, I got this for half off, or this was so expensive, but hey, you're worth it. You immediately take a heartfelt gesture and turn it into a financial transaction. The real value of a gift isn't on the price tag, it's in the thought behind it. All you ever need to say is, I saw this and thought of you. That's it. All right, we're heading into the final stretch, our last 3 rules, and these are deeply personal. We're going to talk about your past, your present career, and your deepest pain. Rule 7 is a delicate one, your romantic past. Look, unless there's a serious medical reason or you're having a foundational talk with a life partner, the details of your sexual history, they're yours. That's it. The number of partners, the stories, it's private. People will always say, oh, I don't judge. But the truth is, a picture starts to form in their mind. And trust me, that picture can change how they see you forever. Okay, rule number 8 is mission critical for your career survival.
Never, ever complain about hating your job to anyone you work with. I don't care if it's your work bestie or the person in the cubicle next to you. Those little water cooler complaints have a nasty habit of making their way straight to HR or your boss. So who can you vent to? Your safe zones are outside the office. Write it in a journal. Talk to a friend who works in a totally different industry. You can even tell your dog. Just anyone but a colleague.
And now, the final rule. Number 9. This might be the most important one of all.
Your deepest, most painful regret. That is not small talk. When that wound is still fresh and raw, sharing it just gives other people power over it. They can quote it back to you later, they can twist its meaning, or they can use it to define you. You have to wait, do the work, process it, until you can talk about it without breaking. Only then does it stop being an open wound and become a story of survival.
So, we've gone through all 9 rules, but let's get to the real heart of it. Why? Why all these rules? It's not about being cold or secretive. It's something much, much deeper.
See, behind every single one of these rules, there's one core idea. It's the why that drives everything we've just talked about.
This totally reframes the whole idea of privacy, right? It's not about hiding something. It's a powerful act of self-preservation. It's about building a fortress around your inner calm, protecting it from judgment, from manipulation, and from just unnecessary chaos.
And that's the ultimate goal here. Personal peace. It's not something that just falls into your lap. You have to actively create it. And being super intentional about what you share is one of the best ways to do it. By choosing to keep some doors closed, you stay in control of your own story and your own emotional well-being.
So look, don't just memorize this list. Use it. As you go about your week, I want you to really ask yourself, which of these 9 doors in my life needs to be closed a little tighter? Answering that question, well, that's the first step to a more peaceful, more protected you.